Hello and welcome to CEAZOR Snack Sandwich. Today we're going to take a look at the Defi Llama WARZ. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool stuff. So I did a video a little while ago on Andre Cronje's Solidly or Solid. At the end of this video, I'll put a link to it. Now, I'm not going to explain what that is. Those of you who are watching this probably will understand what that is to some extent. If you don't, watch that video, okay? So basically, these guys are vetting, they're fighting, they're warring over to be within the top 20 of TVL on Phantom Opera. So there's a few projects that are of interest and that are doing something that's kind of questionable, we might say, okay? And the variance of questionability kind of varies between these three projects that I'm going to talk about today. So the first one is XODAO, the second one is veDAO, and then the third one is Radial here. Now, I'm not going to tell you yet. We'll get into like which one I like best and which one I'm actually considering participating in. This is kind of time sensitive because this video will go out, and I think within 24 hours the snapshot's going to happen, and then all of these protocols farms will become pointless. Okay, so let's go into them and talk about them. Let's first talk about veDAO, and basically, because it was the first one to launch this idea of basically single staking farms. So you can come here with one of these single staking tokens. You can stake it here. You can get this APR in this Weave token. And then you could, if you wanted to, supply that token here and get this huge APR here. Now, this is old style DeFi of the YAM days where it's quite dangerous, okay? I wouldn't suggest you to deposit your tokens in here unless you really know what you're doing and you really want to play this game. Consider this gambling, in my opinion. So anyways, this is the first one. That's what they're doing. You just come here and you put your tokens in here, you farm this Weave token and you make this LP, or you just buy the Weave token and make this LP. That's the idea here. And as you can see, their TVL is pretty high, like $600 million inside there right now. If you read through their mediums here, there's obviously no docs. Basically, it's all talk about tokenomics, the tokenomic distribution of the Weave token, and the idea that they want one of these VE33 tokens from Andre's project, from Solid Swap or Solid. So that's basically what they're talking about here. You can come here and read this. I'll put a link to all of these mediums in the description below. So that's basically their idea. Okay, then we swing over to 0xDAO. Now, 0xDAO was a response to veDAO. veDAO was way up in the list. It was like second place or something. And then 0xDAO said, you know what, this is crap. So then they came out and they did it. So it's kind of like a vampire attack on veDAO. But it's very similar in some ways. Same idea, you supply some of these tokens here. You get token emissions of this XDAO token, right? This XD. So a 0, or I'm not sure if that's a 0 or an O, but I think it's a 0. 0xD, and then you can provide liquidity and you can farm and so forth. And if you read through these articles here, it basically says the same thing. It talks about the difference in tokenomics and how this team gets nothing and the other team gets a allocation of those Weave tokens. This one is produced by some names that I'm really quite familiar with, and if you're on the Phantom ecosystem, then you most likely know at least one of these, if not all of them. Justin Beebis, he's a solid dev, and I talk to him once in a while. He's part of the Reaper project, and he runs this Byte Masons team, which basically is just a group of he's just trying to educate people on how to be good devs, right? And how to build in this ecosystem and build in Solidity and so forth and just be good devs. He's very against this project. However, he is in this project. So he's part of the security team and he's hoping to kind of make sure this doesn't hurt people. That's what his message is, and that's what he's said. Okay, now these guys, they all have their own projects, and a lot of their projects are already on there. So one of the fights of veDAO is these guys are double dipping, right? Like Spooky Swap, Scream, Revenant, and Liquid Driver. And if we go here, we have Spooky Swap, we have Scream, and I believe that's it, right? The other one, Liquid Driver is still in the top 20 as well, and Revenant's probably somewhere down below. Okay, so they're kind of like double dipping, trying to get 2 NFTs. It kind of looks like that, right? Now, these guys came out to just basically say, you know, there's a few problems with their tokenomics, and we want to do the same thing and just show you how to make it more fair, basically. And as you can see, they've succeeded for the most part. A lot of the liquidity that was in veDAO has moved over to here, or new liquidity has come and joined this one. Now, the last one I want to talk about is Radial. Now, this is the one I like. This is the one I'm interested in. There's a few reasons why I'm interested in this. If you go to their Medium here and you read through all their Medium articles, they have some key features in here that set them apart. They are actually planning on what to do with the token, or the VE33, the NFT that they're going to get, the voting rights. They're actually going through, if you read through this carefully, you will see that there are, you know, hints of like they're trying to make a plan of how to deal with this VE token model. And you know, I'm not going to explain it all to you because it's quite complicated, but this first article here explains it very clearly, and how like it's not going to be easy to manage these VE token emissions because of the way the system is set up. Like if here, this is the dilemma here. If everybody locks, then you get no emissions. If everybody locks the solid token, then there are no emissions. If nobody locks, then, you know, there are tons of emissions and everyone's getting diluted. So there's this management issue. It's not going to be easy to manage these VE33 tokens, and these guys are planning to make they're planning to make a plan to actually do it, instead of just get the TVL, get the token, and then figure it out once they have the token. They've already started to think about this, and that's their initial, their first post here shows that they understand what is this VE33 token. They've done the research on the VE33 token. They're not just saying, oh, this thing's going to be valuable, this thing's going to be good. So that's good to me. So again, another point that I really like is that they went through and they thought carefully about which tokens they should allow supply to. So they're allowing for a lot of yield-bearing tokens, and they're also allowing a lot of Yearn Vault tokens to be put in here, okay? So you can supply to Yearn, you can still get your APR, your funds are not idly sitting in this contract doing nothing. They're still earning APY on Yearn, and then on top of that you can farm this Radial token. I think this is quite clever and quite smart, and it shows that these people understand DeFi to some extent, okay? Another thing I really like about this project is if you go to the top here, if you go through all of them actually, you won't see an LP token. So they're not actually emitting any of these tokens right now and on the market and selling and pumping and dumping them. There's no LP for this token. And in fact, if you go in here, you'll see that they're going to airdrop the token after they get the snapshot from Andre. So there's not even any trading. There's almost no danger to this token right now. The only danger is a small amount of contract risk, and then the things I'll talk about in a second. But I think this is important. Like they're going to, if they get the NFT, they're going to airdrop 5%, and if they don't get the airdrop, then they're going to airdrop 1%, and then try to still farm solid tokens and try to still run this protocol even if they get that VE33 or not. I think this is very good. They're trying to do it the safe way without putting out a token with LPs and so forth. This is important to me. Now, there is a few things that kind of make me a little bit wary about this. Like they did read these articles, and you will see that they are doing their work. Okay, they're doing work. However, I tried to find out who they are, and I haven't been very successful on that. I went to the Discord and I tagged some of these people. I asked in here, I said, hey, can I get a link to the GitHub? Because if you go to the website here, it says down at the bottom, where's the GitHub? GitHub, it's not done yet, so I can't see who the contributors are. I did go to Lobster DAO and I asked in there, and I got some replies from Lens Ward. He's like, hey, we're working with Radial. So I asked, hey, who are you guys basically? Can I see your GitHub? And then I also got a reply from Jeff, and I asked, hey, who are your people? And then I just kind of get ghosted. Maybe because I'm not important enough, maybe, I don't know. But you know, like, anyhow, that doesn't look great for me, but they're busy, they're devs, right? So maybe they're just not working, and maybe I'm aping it too fast, because I did do this at like, you know, 2:36 and it's now 2:56. So yeah, maybe I should wait, give them an hour or two, right? But you know, I don't have time for this. I gotta get this done. I got stuff to do all week. And anyhow, so let's back to the last thing I want to mention about this that kind of makes me feel a little bit wary, and that is, okay, if you go to the this is their master chef contract. If you go to the owner and you copy this address and you put it into the safe, right, into the Phantom safe, you can see who are the owners. There are these 4 owners. These are the multi-sig for this Radial. And if you go to each of their things, they have, you know, 11 transactions, they have 10 transactions, 3 and 1. So brand new wallets. So I can't dox them. They're undoxable. I don't know who these people are still, even though I have access to the safe and so forth. They don't have any listing of who these people are inside, and it's just basically these guys, Leslie, Ward, and Jeff, with whom unfortunately I just don't know who they are. That's just, you know, there's too many people, I don't know who they are, and that's that. Okay, so but basically I do like this project. I do think that this one has the biggest potential of the 3 to actually produce something and do something of value. I did look at this master contract, and I did try to make sure it was safe to the best of my ability, and I think it is. So I think this is like, if you're going to risk money into one of these 3, at least these ones are yield bearing still. So at least when you put your tokens in here, at least you're still getting yield bearing tokens, and you're still getting your yield at Yearn Finance. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.